Hi, I'm Chad Archibald. I'm the writer-producer of Antisocial.
I got this fancy new poster. Check that out. It's
That's
from
pretty awesome.
it's from Real Canada. But so tell me a little bit about Antisocial. I've watched it already, but for the audience's sake.
Antisocial is a kind of a horror film that we made for today's world, I guess. We were kind of tired of watching horror films and seeing everyone pick up cell phones and have reception and just ignoring, things like the internet. Um, and social media. Just it's such a huge factor in everyone's lives. We wanted to make a horror film that kind of embraced all those things. So this is kind of our challenge for that. We and I mean, as we were making it, as we were writing it, it was really tricky to get people in a world where they're terrified, but at the same time they can make as many phone calls as they want. They can go online, research whatever they want. They can live in a world where everyone's connected, kind of. So
Is that the challenge? Is that why they don't do it now? Like, why it's not normally used in cinema is, tech has not come to films really. I mean, we keep a long arm from it. I mean, we do CSI stuff, but generally there's not a lot of tech, especially in movies. So is that part of the reason? Is just trying to create tension while
yeah, like I think it's part of the reason why you always see horror movies in cabins and secluded locations. It's about keeping, you know, disconnecting people from the world and kind of keeping not having people alone and not able to contact anyone, right?
mm,
So that's why every time there's a abandoned road or something, they go down it. There's no cell phone reception, and all of a sudden they're stuck, and it's just about being alone by yourself and surviving. Or there's so many films that are kind of based on those kind of concepts. Um, not being able to call 911. We live in a world where everyone wants to feel safe, and we've kind of developed a society where we do all feel safe. You can call 911, you can call your neighbors, you can call whoever you want, you can go online. you know I'm skyping with you in Calgary. If I was in trouble, I could Skype with you. I just click on your name and all of a sudden you'd be up.
yeah.
uh, so I mean, it's we're living in a very, very safe world. So I think the majority of movies have kind of stopped once their society got safe enough.
Mm.
I think they kind of stopped embracing that. So I mean, that's I don't know. We had fun with this movie for that reason, where it's just like, huh. So what would happen? Like, what would you actually do? Because we've written a lot of films in the past, and there were so many times where we've done the whole no cell phone reception, no, and then it turns into what would you do in that scenario,
Mm.
opposed to what would you do in real life.
Yeah.
If I was ever in trouble, I'd there's a million ways that I could connect to someone. So
Yeah. This is something I liked about Antisocial was that it was in a very confined space, but then it made the world that much bigger because you were plugged in, but then you still felt defenseless because the world was kind of cascading around this group in this building and they couldn't it's not like the technology helped, but it did give you a scope that this was happening globally, which is not something easy to translate, I guess, without technology.
uh, like we wanted to do a movie that kind of took place in one house. Like the characters never really leave the house much, but through the internet, there's so many portals. As far as we obviously created our own names, like the Social Red Room, and all sites kind of like YouTube or whatever. Uh, we created all these portals so that I mean, the first thing you do if there's a natural disaster, you go on CNN's website, or major broadcasters' websites, and you'd see videos right from people on ground zero. They're like taking footage on their phones and uploading it to the website. So I mean, that's how so many people get their information whenever there's any sort of natural disaster or pandemic or terrorist attack or whatever. So this movie kind of takes place in a in a world where this a virus has been released, and it's attacked the world so quickly that even news broadcasters, like, no one can figure out what caused it, how to stop it. It's just hit so fast. Nobody knows how it's spreading. Um, so I mean, it's just about these people this group of people in this house who they've kind of barricaded themselves in, going online and trying to figure out what this is, what caused this, how they stop it, just any information they can find. And the entire as well. We played with the idea the internet is full of information, but you don't know what's the truth. You don't know what's lies. It's like there's, they're going online and there's people like performing exorcisms, thinking that it's like the end of the world and rapture or whatever. There's just so many different theories online whenever there's any kind of situation like that. So it kind of embraces all those concepts too.
Now, where was this based out of?
We actually shot it in Toronto.
Okay.
We filmed at Yonge and Eglinton area. It was just a house that was set for demolition. So we our entire cast and crew just kind of moved in, and we all stayed there in this giant house that was set to be demolished the day after we finished shooting. So it was kind of running against the clock as well, just because we knew that if we extended our shoot too much, we wouldn't have our location to shoot at anymore, because we always joke that we keep the scenes that we're filming in the back of the house. We do those last, so that while the front of the house was being torn down, we could still be shooting. But yeah, I mean, as far as funding and stuff like that, we brought the concept to Breakthrough Entertainment and sat down with them. I won't say the one-liner of it, not to reveal kind of the twist in the story, but we basically pitched the idea, and then they loved it, and they've kind of seen some of the work that we've done in the past. And I mean, Black Fawn's worked so hard to kind of create a family of filmmakers, just in our entire crew, everyone we work with. We've worked really hard to find the best people that we all get along with, that are passionate, that love hardworking and love film in general. So I mean, all the people that we work with are the same people that that we call on weekends to hang out. We've worked really, really hard to kind of establish this family, and I think Breakthrough Entertainment saw that, and we've kind of embraced them, and they've embraced us as well. And now we have another film called The Drownsman that we're just finishing shooting this weekend, and then heading on to Antisocial 2 in the spring.
Wow. Okay, so that was part of my review, was that Antisocial seemed to me like more like it needed exploring more. So that's my scoop for today. We've got an Antisocial 2 on the cards. That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. We've got so much praise, I guess, for creating this idea, just as a concept, because it's never really been done, and there's just so much to explore with it. It's such a massive topic, and I think, yeah, I mean, there's so many different things we can play with, and me and Cody have been working on treatments and stuff for this sequel, and I mean, we're having a lot of fun with it, and just there's so many different paths we can take. So
cool.
It's exciting.
Now, I don't watch horror movies. I am like the Rain Man of rom-coms. I'm not your target audience, to be honest. But I really did enjoy Antisocial a lot, and I want to know more about the horror community and horror film community in Canada, and what, because you did mention something which I really notice is you're very prolific. You come out with movies very regularly. Are they very well received by audiences? Is this something that we could be exploring more for theatrical releases and that type of a thing? Tell me, how does your audience find you? Tell me a bit about that aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean, we make a lot of films because we are obsessed with making films. We just love filmmaking. It's I don't know, we're all striving to do it so hard that, I mean, we've been lucky enough to get funding and be able to continue making films fairly regularly. But I mean, every film that we've done has been very well received. They're all released worldwide. I mean, yeah, I mean, as far as the horror community in Canada, it's insane how big and small it is. I think there's just this vibe that if you're making a horror movie in Canada and you see someone else making a horror movie in Canada, this Canadian horror community is just almost like a secret society where you can just walk up and be like, "Hey man, how's it going? I know about your movie. That's awesome." And you're best friends, you know. It's great. We go to so many festivals, conventions, and things like that, and just seeing how much passion's out there and how many amazing filmmakers there are in Canada. Um, I think it is hard for sure. We there's making a film, and then there's kind of making a film in the industry, and then there's the actual industry. The business side of film is so difficult, and it's hard to steer through. Um, and so much has changed in the last decade as far as distribution and DVD market collapsing and all the video stores closing and illegal downloading and all that stuff mixed together. I mean, everything's changed so much. So I mean, there's so many filmmakers out there that make such great projects and just never really see the light of day because they know how to make a great film, but the business side of it's so much different. So I mean, we're lucky enough with Breakthrough Entertainment. They kind of take care of all the business side of the sales of the film and whatnot. We've also worked with some other companies in the past that have been great. So I mean, we're lucky for that. It's just I mean, there's endless. I won't even start naming filmmakers in Canada because there's so many great ones, and they're all honestly just fantastic people too.
If I am a newly minted Canadian horror film fan, how do I find your films? Not everybody gets nice fancy press releases like I do. So, how does your average, Canadian citizen go about finding your films?
Well, I mean, if you're searching out Canadian horror films, I mean, social media, things like that. Some of our films are released. We also have a distribution end of Black Fawn Films called Black Fawn Distribution. It's just blackfawndistribution.com, and you can buy all our films off there.
I want to know what makes a great horror movie to you.
I think anything that kind of really gives you a scare, and in the end, it's the same whether it's horror or drama or rom-coms. It's great characters, believable stories, and I don't know, good acting. It all comes from a good script. If you have a good script and you've built your story, your characters up, then I think you'll have a good film.
I'm really looking forward to your theatrical release happening this Friday at the Carlton Cinema in Toronto, and Antisocial too. I got the scoop. Oh yeah.